Last time on Star Wars, a Phantom Menace defeated? Alright, I'm Darth Maul.
Alright, I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. Have that.
Oh no, I've been cut in half. An old friend gone?
I think I'm gonna die.
Acne! I thought he had a very particular set of skills.
Turns out not this one.
Not getting killed by Darth Maul. For Anakin, training begins. I don't want to go with you. You're creepy. I want my mum.
Tough shit, kid. You're coming with me.
Qui-Gon alive again. Lucas learns lesson from Jar Jar Backlash. Oh, I guess he was racist. Find out in the next thrilling episode of Star Wars. Hello, and welcome to One Good Thing, a podcast that wants to find the one politician that doesn't allow obligations to campaign donators affect their responsibilities to the electorate. Star Wars! I'm Pauldo Soltrex.
I'm in agony, Padme.
And today, to commemorate the imminent release of Solo, A Star Wars, we're going to review the middle bit of the last time George Lucas was allowed to do a Star Wars. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Groans.
That's very good.
Thanks.
Really is the middle bit. The middle bit on a big old fat man.
The squishy middle bit that we all like. Your favourite bit of a fat man.
Star Wars Episode 2, the navel on a big fat man. ... question mark.
Oh, of course, some of us have already seen Solo, as it did appear at the Cannes Film Festival, which some of us attended.
Yeah.
Of course, had I gone in 2002, I would have been able to see Attack of the Block, because that also fucking played there back then. Attack of the Bones. Yeah, so let's all have a little perspective when we talk about the prestige du Khan.
Yeah.
Ah, les attaques des clones, c'est parfait. Les conflits dans le cœur de l'homme, les obscurités de Hayden Christensen. Voilà fil, cela arrive, elle vous fait signe. Il s'appelle George Lucas. So yeah, just bollocks, basically. It's all a bunch of nonsense. No one there knows what they're doing. Okay.
Standing ovation, 28 minutes. Facing the wall, not even watching the film.
They beat Lars von Trier to death, unrelatedly.
With Hayden Christensen.
Critics once again realised our most boring nightmares by reviewing the film positively. Jack Matthews of the Jack Matthews Band, but also writing for the New York Daily News, said Lucas's obsession with digital technology has obliterated the saga's last remnants of human purpose, turning this once mesmerising space opera into a pure, dehumanised cartoon.
And that was a positive review, was it?
Yeah, they loved it.
Just stood on this bit of nail coming out of a 2x4. If I can just get that nail back right in the hole that it made initially, this should be fine.
Was that the original one? No, that was one of the subsequent ones. Should have penned it. Christy Lemire, writing for the Associated Press, said it's still a rush to sit in a packed theatre when the first blast of John Williams' fanfare sounds. Then you have to endure the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't. I left after that. Can I have any money back? No, we charge for the John Williams bit.
That's the only bit we charge for.
If you look at your ticket. Oh my god! Where it says name of film, it just says da 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 da.
It says John Williams Star Wars bit. Oh.
Interesting. The film was, however, also quite popular with people.
No.
Andy Amazon said, brilliant! Not as good as the original 3, though. 5 stars. Christ, what would the original 3 have gotten? He's done the classic film reviewer thing. You've got to leave yourself somewhere to go, you know? You got to leave yourself that 5th star for when you see Under the Silver Lake.
I mean, he's clearly not on Goodreads because that whole website is an exercise in revising your 5-star reviews. Well, I can't give Almost Transparent Blue and Atonement 5 stars. Ridiculous.
Clearly. That would mean they're both the same thing. Ilif at Amazon said, to my relief, this has the cover depicted. Generally, this is the worst Star Wars film of the lot, but with this DVD at a reasonable price, I felt it was worth ordering, as high street retailers no longer stock them with this sleeve. i.e. the episode number on its spine. So kind of a kindred spirit there, I fear.
Yeah, it may be shit, and I may never watch it again, but it may appreciate in value. It's just pounds, Paul, maybe pounds.
It's just going to look so fucking good on that shelf. Just look at it. It's fucking superb with its pale yellow fucking lettering on it.
In the big rubber Jar Jar Binks head it's since been released in.
Look, I spent an inordinate amount of time and energy and money trying to find all 4 of the Akira Kurosawa BFI box sets. At least I wasn't looking for fucking Attack of the Clones in the right coverage. Paul, we've got 2 3-men, confusingly.
Have we indeed?
We fucking have. We've got those 2 well-known stars. First up, Ewan McGregor, train spotting himself.
Ewan McGregorvich. Yeah.
Ivan Mikigregovich is now a 3-man, thanks to his appearances in Phantom Menace and Mordecai.
Oh, yeah.
He was also uncredited in Sex Lives of the Potato Men, but we didn't include that. He played Adrian Chiles.
Adrian Chiles' butt.
He was the butt double.
Just the butt.
And the other well-known star of stage and screen is Matthew Wood.
God.
He's no introduction from us.
Yeah.
But just in case, Paul, what's he done?
I know everyone knows, but anyway. Obviously, he was in Attack of the Clones, as we know, starring as Magaluf.
Played Magaluf?
Yes, Magaluf. Popular tourist destination, Magaluf. Also Seboka, whoever the fuck that was, or wherever that is in Greece. In Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, he was Bib Fortuna. You know Bib Fortuna. He's in The Phantom Menace.
He had that catchphrase. Oh, I'm a Bib.
Bib Fortuna. Yeah.
Where's my tuna? That was his. That was his thing. Every scene would end with him sort of wondering why he was alone in a room. Anyway,
he was also, believe it or not, in the Emoji Movie.
Fuck! Which emoji did he play?
Additional voices.
Oh, I love that emoji.
The additional voices emoji.
I use that all the time.
Yeah. Additional voices. Katy Perry? I don't know. Anyway, you're a 3-man.
Yep.
Get in the box.
Oh, free to a man. Free in the bush. Free. Yo. Films are shit, mate.
Attack of the Clones was nominated for 7 Razzies, and it managed to pick up 2 of them. Worst Supporting Actor for Hayden Christensen, and Worst Screenplay by Leorge Gucas and Jorge Lucas. So, congratulations to both of them.
Stellar work.
So, Paul, you senator.
Hello.
What was something about Attack of the Jones that made you want to add it to your untenably large DVD collection?
Now, I first saw this when I was 16.
Okay.
I think. And the most memorable part of this film as a 16-year-old was Natalie Portman's midriff.
Yes, yep.
And you see the whole thing is the thing. All of it.
You see her entire middle.
Middle, yeah. It's middle. The middle of her body. And it's Natalie Portman's. And watching it again 15 years later, it's still there.
It is still there. And it's
amazing.
Ridiculous, the scene that exposes it. Where a creature manages to perfectly tear off part of her top and carefully tailor the underneath to be fine.
Yes, it's like the old Adidas popper trousers that you could buy.
That sounds highly arousing. Please tell me about this erotic space film, Star Wars.
Text crawl. Text crawl. Text crawl.
Yay! Love the text crawl. Oh, I hope this was more interesting than Phantom Menace. Senator Amidala's returning to the Senate in order to do an important vote.
There are members of the government who are not happy remaining in the government.
They want to quit the Republic in what has been dubbed Rexit.
Strexit.
If you come from Strexon 9, it's called Strexit. That's the thing, is it's thousands of worlds and they all want to leave, and each one, there's Roxit, there's Braxat.
Nabxit, it's ridiculous, doesn't make any sense at this stage, but you can't tell them that because it's racist.
Yeah, there's Zit, which is a difficult concept for everyone to get their heads around.
And then there's Ewan McGregor's it as well.
Yeah, he tried to get away. After the text crawl...
Yes, which establishes this very exciting political situation. I can't wait to see some manoeuvres later.
Fuck yeah! God, how's she going to vote? Let's find out. Her ship gradually spins down to Coruscant. Then it blows up in an unconvincing explosion.
It fucking blows up right off the green screen.
That's Queen Amidala dead.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think I've understood this, one of just a random passerby decides to pretend to be the princess. And it works.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Everyone's just like, oh yeah, Queen Amidala, that's you.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? No, it's crazy.
Oh,
okay,
fine.
fine.
Oh, who would have thunk it? Yeah, so it is established that the life of Queen Padme is in danger.
Yes, there was a discussion.
Yes.
What should we do?
Oh, thank fuck for a discussion.
Let's all sit around this table and fucking think about this shit. Palpatine, I don't know what his whole deal is or why he's got authority here. He's invited the Jedi fucking Council to discuss this.
Yeah.
Aren't they like a religion? The fucking role of the Jedi Council will become a very sticky wicket.
Ewan McGregor Jedi and Hayden Christen Jedi
Yeah.
are here. And the big thing is that Hayden Christensen has a bit of a thing for Padme that he has had since being a 6-year-old dweeb on Tatooine.
Back when she was only 24. Now she's 25 and he's 18.
Yeah, it's weird. They grow up so fast, and he's not really.
These Jedi.
He hasn't really prepared this because he just turns into fucking creeper mode as soon as he sees her. He walks up and says, "It's been a long time since I've seen you. Here are your breasts, marvelous."
Annie? My goodness, you've grown.
So have you. Grown more beautiful, I mean. Well, for a senator, I mean.
Annie, you'll always be that little boy I knew on Tatooine.
Hi Anakin, how have you been? You've been hot. That's how you've been.
Yep.
Okay,
Great.
that makes me feel very uncomfortable. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Your Majesty.
Well, that is my title. And she says, "Oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's so good to see you again." I'm sorry, have we met? Like, literally in the last film, did we have any lines together? I will put my own safety at risk later in order to come and rescue you. Oh, well, that's good to know. Thank you. Old friends, we really bonded on that shit. You braided my hair, I braided yours. Did you keep up the hair braiding? No, I've realised that looked really twatty. Okay, yeah.
Well, once you become an adult Jedi, you no longer have use for braids.
That's Hayden Christensen will learn.
That's canon now. So it turns into a sort of stakeout drama.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where they are now looking out for Queen Amidala.
Yeah, well, they're going out to the garden to loudly discuss how awful politicians are while she tries to sleep. Look, they're all fucking cunts, is what I'm saying. The Jedi Council should have had independence years ago, and those bastards come over here and fucking switch the Republic. 51% to fucking leave the Republic. It's fucking nonsense.
It's not a majority!
And Hayden Christensen saying, "I'm going to try and use this accent in a later film."
Anyway, first step to looking after her, turning off all the cameras in a room. What's the worst that could happen?
Well,
I'm a great Jedi.
They leave R2-D2, and he has a flashlight, so... Come on.
He also flies, apparently, but not just yet.
But not when yeah, sometimes.
Not when he could. Not when he needs to. Just...
Only when it's funny. He's like Roger Rabbit.
Oh, brilliant. I love that. I love Roger Rabbit. Do you know who should have been in this film? Bob Hoskins. Oh.
He shows up as a plumber.
I don't know. It's all I'm fucking good for nowadays.
Does water even exist in this place? I don't fucking know.
Americana does. Anyway, more on that later. So the magic plan of turning off all the cameras and relying on his heavily emotionally influenced Jedi skills didn't work out all that well because the assassin did almost kill Queen Amidala.
Yeah, with a couple of slugs.
Yeah, luckily he comes in and does a very good slash of the two worm things that are designed to kill her.
In terms of cutting a couple of worms up,
it's probably the best I've ever seen.
yeah, it's pretty good. My grandpa would have come in with a couple of garden shears and just sort of
Yeah.
snaps them off that way. So, yes, there's a slug thing, and the thing that delivered the slugs is just outside the window, and so calm, collected, wise old Obi-Wan Kenobi throws himself through the fucking window in order to grab it, whilst the hotshot, young Anakin Skywalker, calmly goes and gets a car.
And Luke Besson watches all of this and goes, I have an idea.
Characters don't need to be consistent. That's such a liberation.
Fantastic. Yeah, so they go off in search of this assassin in a speeder, which is very what's the word? Soundproof, isn't it?
If that windscreen wasn't there, it would just be There's a million fucking cars everywhere. How are we breathing? This is awful.
This is shit. And why is everybody driving in the same line? Why isn't anybody overtaking up or down? This is mental. I hate this. The future. The past future. So they eventually find the assassin, and
all she lets slip is that a bounty hunter hired her to kill Padme. Then she gets killed by a bounty hunter. That's a weird coincidence. And they make no attempt to chase him whatsoever. I mean, he's got a jetpack. Can't beat a jetpack.
Are your Jedi senses doing anything? Are yours tingling? Not really.
There could be someone
There's a hum.
aiming of sniper rifle at us from a mile away. No, I mean, that could have been us. That could have been us dead. If he had decided to shoot us instead of her, dead. The rest of the scene is just Obi-Wan and Anakin crying. Fuck!
Shoving each other like kids. You're an idiot. No, you're a dickhead. Do you think Padme will sleep with me? Oh, it's all that's on your mind. You didn't know you were born. They go back and they go, that was weird. Let's not think of that anymore for now. Everyone then properly believes that Padme's life is properly in danger, and they decide
her ship blowing up was just a coincidence. Look, lots of ships blow up here, okay? Dangerous place. Oh, but now killer slugs as well.
Says Yoda.
Anakin and Padme have a bonding moment where he whines about how awful it is to be a Jedi, and she complains about the Senate being a bunch of idiots. So they're both very well suited for each other.
Very wise of the Jedi Council to put him as her security detail based on his past successes in that role.
He was in the middle of masturbating at the point when they told him that they wanted him to... He was wanking it to one of her socks at the point when they told him, this is going to be your protector.
That wasn't his coming noise. He's a crier, definitely.
Obi-Wan goes to a fucking diner where a Scottish... New Yorker guy?
Wow! What do you know? I ain't seen one of these since I was prospecting on Sub-Terrell. I should think that you Jedi would have more respect for the difference between knowledge and... wisdom.
An American diner where a Scottish alien...
To meet Rebus. To fucking talk about this dart that he dug out of some chick's neck.
And he knows where this is from, basically.
It's from Chimino, the planet where everything costs a lot of money and things get out of control. Turns out there's no sign of it anywhere, so I guess it doesn't exist. That's the end of that, and his investigation hits a dead end.
Oh well, might as well just go and hang out with the younglings.
I like doing that when I can't figure out what to do next.
Who are all training in that ancient Jedi... that ancient Jedi practice of putting a bucket on your head and trying to hit a floating ball that shoots lasers at you.
Yeah, when Obi-Wan just carried that fucking ancient training technique around with him.
Yeah.
It was in a rucksack.
Just in case. So that's that explained. Brilliant. Turns out, Ewan McGregor learns from a fucking 3-year-old that he should look harder for the planet.
Yeah, it's so fucking pointless, because it's like, hey, this planet's meant to be here. According to the map, it's not. But it looks like it is. Maybe you should go check it out. Ooh.
Thanks, Billy. I'm taking you with me. You're coming with me, he says.
You're better at this than I am. So for the rest of the movie, he's just got a fucking kid with him. I'd forgotten about this. Amidala and Christensen. Amidala Christensen. They travel back to Naboo as refugees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they put on a disguise and travel. And I'd forgotten about this, because nothing comes of it. They don't bond because of it. They don't get to experience a different side of the Star Wars universe. They sit at a table, awkwardly talk to each other.
He does a thing with an apple.
Yeah, he steals one of her socks for later use, and that's it. And then they just arrive and go straight to the palace.
I imagine it's just because so they could show off the one real set that they had. We've got to put this somewhere. Why not here? So they have a few interactions in a real room where they complain a bit more, and Hayden Christensen just fucking wafts douche chills all over the fucking gaff. He is not letting up. Eventually, Queen Amidala goes, "Oh no, I do like him actually." Weird that.
He's just so charming the way he never fucking lets up. But Obi-Wan heads off to the planet Chimino, where it's like, so, has the project we've given you been kept within budget? Well, we've spent 40 years cloning Chris Christopherson. Right. Okay. So how many Chris Christophersons do you have?
None.
We don't have any. The original one died.
They learned the very important lesson that Chris Christopherson is inimitable. So they went with Taika Waititi instead. And
they've been cloning Taika Waititi in a desperate attempt to recreate
the Ultimate Warrior.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Padme and Obi-Wan, sure, I know, he comes over for this bit. Padme and Anakin have a discussion about the merits or demerits of water versus sand. They go to a field where they talk about how fascism maybe got a point.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Annie floats it and
doesn't go down well.
Padme's briefly horrified, and then she says, "Wait, you're fucking with me?" And he goes, "Oh yeah. That's what I'm doing. Sure."
Totally. Lots of Jews about though. Have you noticed?
Fascism.
Okay, Obi-Wan now meets with Taika Waititi, and they discuss, so, you must be getting paid a lot of money to fucking be cloned a lot. And it's like, actually, they just paid me in a single boy, my son, Boba Fett. What?
Bobo.
And he cuts over and he's just there in his full armor, but he's tiny. This is my son. No disintegrations, boy. Obi-Wan calls back home to the Jedi Council, and it's like, look, someone put in a pretty big order for clones of Taika Waititi here. Was anyone there? And it's like, oh, fuck. Christopher Lee. Have you ordered a bunch of clone troopers? No. I thought that was on my account.
Damn.
No, it actually got invoiced to the Jedi Temple. The form was confusing?
Look, can I pay you back?
Not today, obviously, but
I put it on my Sith card. It's a Jedi card. Mastercard. Yes, Mastercard. Amex? Did you say Sith card? No.
Unless you accept those.
I like your cape.
Do you? He calls back home, and after the call, Yoda turns to fucking Samuel Jackson. Do you think we should tell them that we can't use our powers anymore? No. Let's just see how long we can fucking push this.
The management consultants of the Star Wars universe. Nobody's realised that they don't need us.
Nobody's realised we can't do this. We just keep fucking swirling colours around and hoping nobody notices.
Panic selling of Jedi stocks, you want?
Oh, the Force says there will be great trouble in, marshmallow markets. Fuck it, sell marshmallows! Sell marshmallows!
Great danger for Virgos in the next moon. One foresees.
He hides the fucking horoscope that he's got underneath his chair. What's that? Nothing?
Parliamentarians with more than 2 eyes will meet a wonderful stranger.
Look, I think we can all agree that the real problem here are the separatists.
Then, I mean, Obi-Wan then goes out and immediately has a fight with Jango Fett.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Anakin Skywalker has a dream about his mum that he forgot all about for the last 18 years.
Yeah.
He's going to go back. Padme goes with him. They meet Watto. He's just as racist as he ever was. It's like,
brilliant.
Oh,
yep,
brilliant. I remember that.
And he points them to Joel Edgerton's house.
Yes, they all go to Joel Edgerton's house, which is unfortunately the house from It Comes at Night. And it's all very tense and uncomfortable. Look, I'll tell you about your mother, but you can't stay here, okay? Yeah, that's fine. That's all I need. You can't, sorry,
gun down,
I can't take
man.
that risk. It's my family. Just put the lightsaber down.
He shoots Natalie Portman in the face, and it's happy ending for everyone. Hayden Christensen gets to become Darth Vader.
He gets to.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, you know what, Hayden? We've all noticed you've been doing a very good job, so we're going to let you be Darth Vader for the year. Oh my god.
Oh, brilliant.
Best summer ever, everyone. Fuck it. Obi-Wan chases Django through an asteroid field and then shoots a missile at him. And it's like, why not start with the missile?
Yeah.
Back when he couldn't see you.
Yeah.
No, it's to shoot all the lasers at him first.
Yeah.
We had a laser surplus last year. I'm not doing the accounts again. More lasers, they said. Otherwise, we won't be able to justify spending so much on them next year.
Have you tried writing lasers off as a tax deductible? In any financial year?
I am losing out hand over laser here. So
he hides on the back of a rock, and Jango Fett just assumes that he's dead, despite not doing any real searching or anything that his profession would require.
He's probably dead.
Oh well.
He's a perfectionist.
Best go down to Geonosis, he says loudly out the window.
Bye, everyone who's dead.
Bye, asteroid belt. Bobber, say goodbye to the asteroid belt.
No disintegration.
Did?
I can't remember any of Boba Fett's lines, except for, as you wish. Maybe because he's not actually that good a character. Anyway,
who's to say?
The weird dad guy who's in a wheelchair says, I don't want to give up on your mother, but it has been over a month. And I have...
So I'm giving up on her.
Yeah, then it's like, I don't want to give up on your mother. Well, I'm going to go look for her. Look, she's dead, okay? Just deal with it. She's dead and she's not coming back. But I don't want to give up on her, not just yet.
Well, anyway, the emotional music's starting to play, so I'm going to go off on this speed here, and
she's definitely dead, and don't go into my basement. Yeah, killed by sand people, definitely. Honestly, oh bloody sand people!
Don't believe me? Look at Joel Edgerton. Joel Edgerton does his sad face, and
okay.
So he goes off to the Raiders and to the Tuscan Raiders, and he sabers a hole in the wall, and he goes to have an emotional reunion with his mum, which is quickly dispelled once the two of them start talking and having weird moments independently of each other.
Yeah, she
dies. And he goes out and just starts cutting off heads.
Every head he finds, he cuts it off, including Joel Edgerton. So Count Dooku's sort of idealist and he's the one who ordered the clone army, which is confusing because what about his own army? Well, there's a whole bunch of trickery going on. Who's behind it? Anyway, it's Christopher Lambert.
Yeah.
He tries to call Anakin, but it doesn't work. Anakin's too busy crying and yelling at people.
I love you, Annie, says Padme. I killed the women and children, he says.
I made the mothers watch.
I cut their fucking heads off. The bitches.
I slowly forced my lightsaber through their necks. I didn't even know this could do that. It's horrible.
It's amazing. Look at this. Wom, wom, wom. Stop doing that. It's like turning a light switch on and off. You'll break it. No, it won't.
You'll make it less special when you do need to do it. The council tricked Jar Jar into giving emergency powers to fucking... What's his name?
We all give power to Senator Palpatine.
Thank you for giving me supreme power.
Hello, I accept this. I accept this.
The supreme honor.
Yes.
Yes, I'm greatly honored. My first motion is a pay increase for secretaries. Oh, brilliant. Yoda is like, maybe we should go check out all the weird shit that's going on personally. I mean, we are rubbish, though. It's alright, look, I've got a cap gun. I'm pretty sure I can use it to bamboozle some locals into thinking we're still awesome. Okay.
He's just a fucking snake oil salesman at this stage.
He's the worst. He's a fucking charlatan.
Yoda's bedroom tonic you need.
Obi-Wan gets captured because he's very fucking good.
Yeah.
During a holocall to... actually, he leaves a voicemail. He leaves a hilarious voicemail for fucking Anakin and
everyone.
Leia, whatever her name is. And, yeah, just saying, yeah, everything's going fine. There's a big clone army here. And, oh, wait, what was that? I guess we should go... We must go save him, says Padme. Seriously, though, did you meet? What's his whole name? Obi-Wan... Jones.
That's a trick. He hasn't got a surname.
He's just Obi-Wan, like Share. Count Dooku confronts Obi-Wan and is like, you know, I really thought I'd be better than this sort of film by now in my career. So did I, actually. What a fucking train spotting.
We've all made our mistakes.
I'm in the Two Towers right now. Hey, everyone, go check that out in the next screen. It's much better, I assure all of you.
And then Ewan McGregor goes, play it by ear for me.
Am I in the island right now? Maybe. No, a few years out. Well, go see Two Towers, I guess.
Do check out the island, though. There's an almost sex scene in that one. I used to be able to do a Scottish accent.
This show has sucked it out of you.
There was a time in my life when I could. I think it was when I started being able to do an Irish accent, which I can do, regardless of what this episode says. Anyway, he's like, well, please join me. No, you're dead evil. Oh, yes, I suppose I am. Anakin and Padme come in and captured immediately.
Yep. Well, not immediately.
Well, I'd like it to be immediately, because otherwise we have to acknowledge the 15-minute long CGI sequence.
I loved it. Coincidentally, I'm a huge fan of Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. They do get captured. They all get put in a gladiatorial fucking ring because I guess George Lucas saw Gladiator 2 years earlier. That's great. Needs more aliens.
Yeah. I could use this for my space opera. Yeah, they're tied to posts, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is really shitty about Anakin coming to help him.
It's like, we're all going to die.
Great job.
Could you just not criticize me for once? This is why I'm going to the dark side. What? Nothing.
Well, yeah, they come out and they use the fact that two of them are Jedis and one of them is a main character to not die, basically. Yeah. They jump off the things. This is when Natalie Portman gets her thing ripped off.
Natalie Portman has all those fucking combat abilities that she picked up in her time as a senator.
Oh, yeah. Senator in one of those crazy, like, socialist South American countries, though. You know. Peril. So, the fucking Jedi army turns up.
Yeah, they're all here. They can't use the Force anymore, but they're still really good at cutting people open with lightsabers.
Yeah.
You just need a lightsaber, really. You don't need any skill. Yeah. Just get a lightsaber, then it's fine.
Get a lightsaber and practice it. the Jedis turn up, and then they're eventually surrounded.
Not before Samuel Jackson cuts off the fucking Django's Taika Waititi's head, and Boba Fett sees it. Oh no! Now he's gonna grow up to be a bounty hunter like his dad was, I guess. But he's gonna be really irritated at Jedi forever, which is gonna manifest when Oh, this didn't mean anything.
Samuel L. Jackson's caught pointing at Jango Fett, going, ah!
He does that for the rest of the film. There's a big fucking battle because the clone army shows up. Yoda's fucking commanding it.
Oh yeah.
Yoda says, "Please set up a perimeter around the survivors," and my childhood dies inside because Yoda just used the fucking word perimeter.
Yeah, but he also says around the perimeter survivors create or something like that. What's the actual line?
I don't fucking know. Here it is.
There we go. Hey, like Yoda speaks. They then they chase Count Dooku. He's pursued through the sands. And then finally, it's the big fight that we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee against Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, at last.
At last. George Lucas wanted this one choreographed by Sammo Hung. Anyway, never mind. He easily dispatches Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. He cuts off Hayden Christensen's hand.
No.
Because
his hand was his best part.
Then Yoda comes in, and Yoda's an old Jedi. He's not gonna
be able to do anything.
He's not gonna be able to fight Count Dooku, is he?
He's got his
ridiculous.
cat gun in his other hand behind his back.
Yeah.
He's gonna fire it a couple of times. Oh, look, lightning I control. Oh, shit.
They throw some pottery at each other for a bit, and then they finally decide to get out the lightsabers. And boy, oh boy, is it a laser sword fight.
We've never seen Yoda fight before.
Yeah, wow. Anyway, Yoda kind of wins, I guess. Dooku runs off.
End of movie. Padme and Obi-Wan get married in a surprise twist. Anakin gets pretty sad, but also gets a robot arm, which is pretty cool. Yoda's going to command a big bunch of stormtroopers to destroy the universe, actually.
Yeah, Dooku comes home to speak to his boss, who's a mysterious figure.
Comes home, and in the lounge, he finds Palpatine sort of knocking back. How did it go? Oh, good and bad. No, it was good. I'm glad I went, but our entire army did get destroyed by clone troopers. Did you know about clone troopers? Yes, that was part of this. Was destroying my entire army part of this? Yes, because
I'm going to say yes.
Yes. Wait, I you know what? I don't have my laptop in front of me, but I remember this being a part because I remember thinking, "Oh, Count Dooku's not gonna like this bit."
And I remembered when you said clone army because I thought I'd jog my memory because I was saying it. The clone army, Count Dooku won't like it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, what do you want to do about dinner? So anyway, that's the end. It's the end of the fucking movie.
Yeah, brilliant.
So, is it better than Phantom Menace?
No.
It's not, is it?
It's I think it's equally bad, but in different ways.
Yeah.
They're two pieces of the same shitty jigsaw.
They are. A jigsaw of shit. It only has 3 pieces, so it's not even challenging to put together. It's
not even the satisfaction of finishing it.
If this movie looked like Rogue One, that would be something. But
Yeah.
My biggest problem with the whole prequel trilogy is the aesthetic. And Lucas had this push to sort of use digital technology.
Yeah.
And he wanted to see how much he could do, but it's just dated so terribly, and it's not, and I'm sorry to be so superficial, it's just not something I enjoy being in. You know, I feel claustrophobic when I can tell that these actors are just in a fucking big blue area that they've projected a background onto. The worst one was when Yoda's on his little floating platform, and Samuel L. Jackson and Obi-Wan are walking with him. And they're just not anywhere. There's a fucking matte painting all around them. It's ridiculous. There's no lighting.
It's no
effect being used. In Jakku, for example, there's a sense that Daisy Ridley, should she choose, could go somewhere else in this world rather than her mark. She could go behind that bit and be somewhere. Yeah. And if we move the camera to the left, there would be more stuff there.
Yes.
And the same with every set in all of these new movies. In these, if you move if a character moves 2 feet off of their mark, they're going to fall off the blue screen stage.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to kneel down and grab a handful of sand or leap over the balcony or anything. There's just nothing to it. It looks as good as Sound of Thunder.
Yeah, it really does.
It is no better than that.
No, and the actors clearly hate it because, like, Hayden Christensen said, "Oh, my favourite scene in the movie was the bar because it was an actual fucking set."
Yeah, and that still didn't feel like a real bar.
It didn't.
Even that, it didn't populate it. There was no music playing. You couldn't even really hear chatter.
Yeah.
It was like an old video game that didn't really have the processing power to have background chatter or a population
no, it was like
when a
Duke
cutscene
Nukem
was happening.
But Terrence Stamp, didn't come back.
Yes.
And the reason he gave was actors like to work with actors.
Yes. How damning.
Like, people hate this. People hate working this way.
Yeah.
And it shows in their performances.
Oh, I mean, they're completely wooden. I mean, there are different levels of wooden, with, Hayden Christensen being one side and Christopher Lee, I think, being on the other side. But, all of the lines, again, you can write it, George, but you sure as fuck can't say it.
And now to business. You will be delighted to hear.
I wasn't the youngest queen ever elected.
200,000 units are ready.
But now that I think back on it, I'm not sure I was old enough. I'm not sure I was ready.
Good news.
Find out.
Thank you. People you served on good job. I heard they tried to amend the Constitution to stay in office.
I was released when I was
Master,
but when the queen asked me to serve as senator, I couldn't refuse.
I agree with her. I think the Republic needs me. I'm glad that Senator served.
Raspberry twirl.
Yeah.
Just basic bitches. I've got to say, I think George Lucas was clearly caught up in this whole innovating, in being a technological innovator, and he felt like it was the next thing. It was the future of filmmaking, and he said as much to Martin Scorsese on the set of The 5 Points in Gangs of New York. Jeez. But so he was obviously caught up with it, and he thought he was doing the right thing. And maybe he was the lesson that everybody else learned. This trilogy was the lesson that everybody else learned, that you can't do it like this.
I think everybody had to go through this period. I think we've said it before, that at the point when CGI really exploded, there needed to be a period of over-consumption before there could be a good snapback, led by Christopher Nolan, saying, hang on a minute, this all looks like garbage.
There are limitations to this.
We need to come back, Yes, we need to combine things, because in addition to Attack of the Clones, which is way worse for its digital aesthetic, the planet of Geonosis is awful. I hate it. I hate that planet, because I don't know if a single set was actually built there. At the same time, you had what did you have? You had Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, you had Aeon Flux and Ultraviolet.
Yep.
You had these movies being made that were just predominantly CGI environments, and they just... That needed to happen before we could realize.
I think we've had this discussion long before we became podcast boys.
I used to phrase it that if you can do it with a practical effect, use a practical effect.
Yeah.
If you can't do it with a practical effect, consider not doing it. Then consider using CGI.
Yes.
And I'd also subsequently add that CGI is there to hide the strings, not replace the puppet.
Yes.
It can seamlessly, and at its best. I mean, Lord of the Rings was being made at this exact time. And it irritates me that people see, Star Wars, the prequel trilogy, as being this big innovator, when really it was Lord of the Rings at the exact same time that was carving out the path for the future with all of this, with its, seamless combination of CGI performances, like, Gollum, with actual miniatures and practical effects, everything. That's how you make a movie like this, and you make it exciting for the audience.
Yeah, I mean that's the true innovator. And I think the other lesson is that there will be films that came out at the exact same time that had really crappy practical effects, and they would always look better.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you can get your hands under it, you can grab hold of things, and I'm sure George thought that he was doing something great with it, but there should have been warning bells that he's fucking screaming in his ears. Where's that personal touch going to be?
Yeah. That's why the visuals are not great. Everything's weightless. So that's a problem with it, with the idea of this being a fun spectacle, is that it's just bad to look at. But moving on then to the story. Now, this is the middle part of a trilogy, which famously is the part, because the first part is bogged down with you have to set things up, and the third part is bogged down with you have to pay everything off. The second part is usually where you can be the freest to just tell whatever it is that you really wanted to say with this world. And we can compare it to Empire, and we can compare it to Last Jedi.
Don't do that.
It's not going to come off well, we can confirm. But in terms of the way the story was shaped, because they're very similar, Empire and Jedi, actually. You've got two storylines, one of which is a chase away from the Empire or First Order, and the other one is a training situation. Those are the two angles. Now, there's a two-sided story here too. Not a training montage, instead it's a romance. And then the other side is not a chase, it's a very low-stakes political investigation.
Yes.
That's the two halves to these coins.
This is it. The film relies on the chemistry between Anakin and Padme, and then the strength of this political intrigue.
Yes, both of which
and there is neither of those things.
The romance is awkward because the dialogue's bad and the performances are bad.
Yes.
I'm haunted by the kiss that you should never have given me. You are in my very soul, tormenting me. If you're suffering as much as I am, please tell me.
We can't. It's just not possible.
Anything is possible, Padme. Listen to me.
No, you listen.
There's no chemistry at all between the two of them.
And the political intrigue is bad because it doesn't have any stakes. And there's one moment I want to mention from Last Jedi, which is when the rebel ships, having abandoned the big ship, are heading towards the planet, and suddenly the Empire has seen them and is shooting at them. And it's like, holy fuck, this is awful, because you can see how few the ships are, and you can see them getting blown up, and it's like, oh Christ, there's going to be nothing left soon. And it's terrifying, and it's really high stakes. You know there are people you care about on those ships, and even the ones you don't, it's still just a really bleak situation, even though you maybe don't know them. In this, there's a moment where, in Attack of the Clones, they're like, you mustn't let those ships reach space. And it's like, why?
And if you're going to do the political intrigue and are genuinely going to make your Star Wars film about political maneuvers, then at least have him be a House of Cards style villain or something. I don't know. Have him actually being more despicable, or just have him being a formidable politician or something.
Yeah.
But he's in the background of it all.
He is, and which I kind of like a bit, that in episodes 1 and 2, he's just always in the background, subtly maneuvering, and then in the third one, he sort of flowers as the main villain. But the thing is, when watching these films as a kid, all of this went over my head. Like, the whole scheme. I just knew there were bad guys with red lightsabers and good guys with blue ones, and that it was hard to invest because I didn't really like either.
Well, that's it. Maybe it would have been good in a better film to have him in the background doing things, but this film couldn't afford to have that, I don't think. No. It needed something driving it. It needed something actually exciting to happen, because it sure as fuck wasn't going to come from the Anakin Padme story.
No, and I think that's it. You need protagonists to get swept up in it that you care about, but Obi-Wan is not a compelling lead. Regardless of what you think about Ewan McGregor's performance as him, he's not a very exciting person to be stuck on a spaceship with. And Anakin, it's just very singular in his motivations. Just, I like Padme, I like my mum.
Life's not fair.
I need to save Obi-Wan, I guess. Yeah, life's not fair. And Obi-Wan doesn't give me enough credit. And that's just, it's not terribly interesting.
It's just nothing.
I hoped, I think, coming back to this, that the action and sense of excitement might get me through. I thought maybe that'll be enough. I was very tired. It was very late at night that I ended up watching this, and I thought, okay, just going for a space adventure. I just watched Solo, and whatever anyone says about Solo, it is a sort of rollicking journey around the galaxy. We've got to go here, we've got to go do this, we've got to, it's a Star Wars adventure. With this, it's just so ploddy. So much of the film is just people sitting down in rooms discussing things. There are no sort of shocking twists revealed at great moments, and I can't help but think about Last Jedi and the sort of relentless plotting of that film. There's just twist, flashback, twist.
I really like the idea of the fading power of the Jedi. I think that's a really cool thing that could have been focused on as power shifts to a totalitarian leader, and there could have been more struggle. There could have been a real sort of quiet war of attrition between the Jedi fighting to like hold on to some power. Yeah. But again, there's none of it. It's all just words on a page to be glib.
But here's the big picture then, and I don't want to talk about this too much because we've got to save something to talk about in the next one. The big picture of this trilogy is twofold. One, the Jedi Order is falling from grace. They're losing their powers. They're losing their influence. Simultaneously, because of unrest in the galaxy, a terrible dictator is able to rally enough support to make himself all-powerful. And he is manipulating things to make that happen. So it's the Nazis. It's just straight up the Nazis. He's adapting that. And then the other half is an idealistic young man who wants to do good but can't keep his emotions in check, ends up becoming the bad guy. Those are your two stories here. And it's just... And saying them like that almost makes me want to respect the prequel trilogy for trying to do this big thing. He's trying to do The Godfather on one hand, and the sort of, history of Nazi Germany on the other. Fall from grace and the rise of a dictatorship. The problem is that functionally, scene to scene, all of that is just being delivered in boring dialogue, with characters you just don't like. And so no amount of ambition can make up for that.
These stories, I mean, The Godfather is told in New York in the 40s? And 50s? 50s. Late 40s. It's told in America in the 20th century, and war films are told in
encounters.
Well, it's time and place. There's a time and place, and you get a feel for it.
If The Godfather was just the family meeting up in order to discuss how bad Michael is getting, no one would care. You have to see it. You see it because Michael does things.
It's just got nothing to latch onto, so it just leaves the second film in this trilogy just feeling like killing time to get to the finale.
Which is the worst thing you can do with the middle installment. It's just moving pieces around the board.
Yeah, it's that, and explaining things that we didn't need explaining. Yeah. So the origins of Boba Fett, the training scene of the younglings, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, just further misappropriation and misunderstanding of the original Jedi mythos. Like, you know what kids want in their sort of legendary wandering space heroes? A real sense of responsibility.
I guess this film just misses the point. Shit, innit?
It is shit. Alright, well, let's quick fire. Let's talk about the things that we actually did like. Because as usual, whenever a large group of people assemble to make a movie together, some of them will go the extra mile and try to make it good. And once again, just another thing, I really don't think we can blame Lucas for being cynical about this. He did have a vision. I think he realised it in a lazy way. He didn't try hard enough. And he should have... what's the word? Denigrated? Relegated?
Delegated.
He should have delegated more, gotten a different...
And denigrated.
This is the only one of the prequel trilogy he co-wrote with someone, incidentally. But it doesn't fucking show.
Yeah, I wonder who. It was the co-writer Leorge Gucas.
Hold on, I'll go get him. Oh, hello, I'm George Lucas.
It's just him with a moustache on his moustache.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm a co-writer with George. It doesn't change his voice at all. I'm a co-writer with George Lucas.
Stands in front of a different wall. Can you come over here? No. That's what George would do. Quick fire.
Quick fire. The ship landing at the very beginning. The pacing is already immediately off because there's no drama to it, but there's quite a good ominous sense of the ship landing and everything being quiet, too quiet. And then two characters stand in front of a CGI backdrop and say a really dumb line.
And say bollocks, yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're back.
I think Yoda looks better than he did in episode 1.
Yes. Although he was a puppet in episode 1, and here he's CGI. But he was a bad puppet in episode 1.
Yeah, he's a bad puppet, and there's one bit of very bad CGI in episode 1 as well. And he looks better,
puppet.
But not his mouth. They really... Star Wars franchise just doesn't get the mouth right, does it? It's Peter Cushing all over again.
I really like the sound of the assassin's speeder. It has this weird sort of whining kind of Spitfire sound to it, which I quite like. Not Spitfire, what were the Germans using? Stuka. Has a sort of Stuka sound to it, which I quite liked.
Speaking of sounds, I really like the seismic charges sound.
Yes.
Whom. Sounds by Flat Eric.
Oh, there's a good shot when the speeder lands and the assassin runs away and what's his name? Darth Vader runs after her. There's a good sort of quick panning, close-up shot of them both running, sort of intercut with each other, which was very Kurosawa, which I quite liked.
A good sense of movement.
Yeah.
After the reunion of Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, and Natalie Portman, and Hayden Christensen thoroughly embarrassing himself and then complaining about it, Obi-Wan comes up and says, "Stop focusing on the negative, be mindful of your thoughts." And then there's a little pause, and he goes, "She was pleased to see us," and there's a little smile from him. It's a really nice moment that shows that he's kind of, he's a mentor, but he's a friend as well. And that is otherwise completely missing from the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
Well, they spend most of the film apart. We get one scene to establish their relationship, and then Hayden Christensen just complains about it for the rest of the movie. He was a good friend.
Yeah,
says Obi-Wan later.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the death sticks moment.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
With mouse.
Some death sticks? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that mouse? Because I actually wrote down that I really liked that actor.
Yeah, it is mouse.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay. I like that whole encounter.
Want some tasty wheat?
Do you ever wonder what tasty wheat tasted like? Yeah, it was just cool. It was a cool little moment. A little bit of world building. Death sticks, apparently.
Yeah, Death sticks is such a heavy-handed name for it, but
it's cool. Smoking, isn't it? Apparently, he's a very ardent anti-smoker.
He's an anti-smoker. death sticks, though.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
Anyway, but yeah,
Nevertheless, I like the idea of that.
I thought McGregor's face was good. He's got good expressions and comportment generally throughout. It's just the delivery is soulless.
You can tell when he's wearing his fake beard, though. There's because he went away and shaved for some. Black Hawk Down. And came
That's
back. So he wasn't a good thing at the time. There we are.
Oh yeah, there we go. Things were coming up McGregor. Yeah,
it's all coming up McGregor.
Tip me out in Black Hawk Down.
Mordecai's just around the corner. Yeah, he had to wear a fake beard, and you can see it really bluntly in some of the scenes. Particularly for me, the scene I'm pretty sure it's in there where it's where he gives him the lightsaber and says, "This is your life." It's like, that's not your beard. Give it back to whoever you took it from.
Also, the scene where he catches it on a door frame and you see the elastic.
It snaps back. He turns and it's like, what? And it snaps him in the face. He does a backflip. It's great.
I love that scene.
Entirely improvised. In the same way that Duel of Fates was the sort of great piece of John Williams music from the last movie, I think the Anakin Padme love theme, even though it's in the service of something, unimpressive, it's a really good theme.
Yeah.
Look at that theme.
I don't remember it at all. I just remember all the terrible shit around it. So please play it.
Oh yeah. Don't need to play it now.
Cool. Take that, lawsuits.
Fair use of my own voice. I actually own your voice. What? Yeah.
Shit, he does.
How? How has this happened, Mum? Did you sell the rights to my voice to George Lucas?
He paid a lot of money. He paid threepence, and back in the 80s, that was a lot. That was 10pence.
George Lucas is now estimated to own 37% of the voices of people.
He keeps them in a jar on his ranch.
Next to where he founded Pixar.
This is my jar. Wait a minute, he opens the lid. See? It's a waking nightmare.
I just keep it by my bed.
I like how we've empowered George Lucas in this film. We were taking the piss out of him in the last one, but I think we've set him up as quite a scary sort of monopolizer.
After the sheer tragedy of Howard the Duck, he fell to the dark side. He did become the Dark Lord.
He does own us.
Our voices, anyway.
He owns us and our dead ancestors. Only when they're dead, though. It's just the worst guy.
Is it a good thing that fucking George Lucas listened to the petition and actually reduced the role of Jar Jar? It was the only concession he made. There was another petition to make it good, but he didn't read that one.
I don't know now. I think he should have just gone with it. Should have just followed his heart.
Well, for those who don't know, there is a theory that maybe Jar Jar was meant to be the big bad. Because of some really weird things he does in Phantom Menace, some people suggest that actually he was being set up. And Lucas made some sort of comment later on in life, saying something to the effect of, I had some plans for the trilogy which I had to change after Phantom Menace. And I maybe regret not sticking with them. So some people have used this to theorize that, yes, Jar Jar was in fact meant to be the Sith Lord.
Because, that would have been quite good in a Rian Johnson way. If he'd have just kept up the annoying... I didn't feel like Jar Jar was fucking dialed back in this. Every moment with him in this film was hell.
Yeah.
So...
Yes. Yeah, it was really unpleasant.
Yeah, maybe he misunderstood and he cranked it up to 11, but had him on for less time and thought that was okay.
There are no twists in this trilogy. From the very beginning, you were told the Republic's going to fall, Palpatine's going to become the Emperor, Anakin's going to be Darth Vader. That's it. That's what happens across all three movies. At no point is there a surprise.
Oh, Palpatine doesn't look anything like Darth Sidious, though, so how did you figure that one out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is there a reveal of that? Is there a moment where it's like, ta-da?
I still do not know whether George Lucas intended it to be a surprise that
exactly
that Palpatine was going to be Darth Sidious. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say because he cast Ian McDiarmid as him again, that it was common knowledge. But was it?
Oh god.
Anyway, back onto the quickfire.
Yes, please.
Considering how garbage the rest of the scene in Coruscant looked,
we're so good at being positive. The best bit of this fucking awful scene.
Caveats, all right? There's a bit when he leaps off and he's falling onto the speeder driven by the assassin, and that looks pretty good, I thought, when he's just falling.
Okay.
Oh, and there also were occasional flashes of Blade Runner on Coruscant, I thought.
Yes.
Just occasionally.
On the ground level, yeah, I found that. Cypher Diaz is a fucking great name. That's the name under which... I mean, if you're going to have a fake name, calling the first name Cypher is maybe not the fucking most subtle way of going about it. But, yeah, Cypher Diaz... Oh, he's not a fake name. That was some old Jedi who died.
Yeah. Well, apparently it was pure luck because it was meant to be Cider Diaz and it was meant to like be Sidious, but it came out as a typo. So he kept it.
Cider Diaz?
Yeah. Oh god. When Anakin jumps out of something and Obi-Wan goes, "I hate it when he does that," is pretty good because it implies that that's his solution to everything. We're out of bagels. Ah. Oh. Anakin. Oh.
God.
Hate it when he does that.
God damn it! Oh, my the phone on the charge on my phone's a bit low. Oh, that's bad. No! Oh.
I've got to stop airing my problems to the room.
Oh, there's a scene between R2 and 3PO.
My obtuse little friend, if they had needed our help, they would have asked for it. You obviously have a great deal to learn about human behavior.
And it reminded me of good Star Wars.
Ah, I really like the real set on Naboo, the Plaza de España. It was in Seville. It was great. It was a real set. So
good stuff.
Props. Why just one? Why even have one?
Just keep doing stuff.
Nonsense.
Miniatures, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I like the native Geonesian language.
Good. That's good Star Wars. I like it. That.
Yes.
I really like the design of the blue-green mantis beast that's trying to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Angled legs just jabbing the ground every time it takes a step. It's a good design.
Yeah, it's a good design. I like the lighting during the lightsaber duel at the end. The actual choreography, I even less so than for Duel of Fates, I could just not care about what was happening because it just felt like this isn't a fight between two actual feeling people. But the actual lighting where they kill the lights and there's like red and blue sort of shining over their faces, that was pretty cool.
There's the Jedi with a tentacle head.
Oh yeah, Kit Fisto?
Kit Fisto, probably. Kid Fister. And he... God, Paul. When he...
I've given up scolding you. It doesn't seem to help.
He does a force. He does a force at C-3PO, and he pushes him back. And then he has the coolest fucking grin that I've ever seen in my life. It's brilliant. Like, he's so pleased with himself. Brilliant. Made his day. And he lives.
Yay! Well, until Order 666. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
There's some interesting camera work during the actual battle. There's quite a dramatic camera movement that I liked.
In the terribly tedious shootout in the finale where they're pursuing Dooku, there is a really nice shot of a battalion firing through the rising dust and sand.
Yes.
It's very moody and cool. It's kind of like something out of Sicario. I've got one more.
Cool.
It's the way Dooku holds his laser sword at the beginning of the fight. He has a bit of an on guard look about it. Cool motherfucker, Christopher Lee.
Absolutely. Okay, that was quick firing. What did the OG team say?
The OG team. We had a few on a few different formats. So I have started putting the call out on Facebook as well. So if you're not following us on Twitter, then you can check it on Facebook. And if you're not on that either, I don't know, just guess what film we're doing. Send it in.
I've also started leaving messages on various men's room toilet walls, so I started collecting them that way. Nothing this week, although I did get a phone number for a very interesting sounding young man. I'll be meeting him. Yeah, I'll be meeting him tomorrow, so I'll let you know how that goes.
Oh, brilliant!
And what he thinks about Attack of the Clones?
I've been putting sandwich boards on dogs. There's a lot of them in Melbourne, so expecting good things. Nintendo Domain Trey at Nintendo Domain said the Django Obi-Wan fight. Yeah, there are bits I think where they're having to adapt to each other's styles.
Yeah.
So there are some cool things.
Gadgets and such.
What I watched tonight said, that's score! And yeah, I think safe to say that John Williams, whenever John Williams is involved, it's gonna be decent.
There were moments in there that remind me of like the new movies, and I just think, oh god, why couldn't this been better for you, John Williams? Why couldn't they have matched the spirit you're trying to create here?
A what? Podcast says flying R2-D2, though we never see that again.
Yeah, that might come in handy at various points in the future. It just really goes to show that Lucas was not thinking sort of long term about this. It was just, oh yeah, this will be cool. It doesn't matter that it's completely against character and, it's going to mess up things later. He just won't do it again when he needs to not do it again.
Janelle, who has unfortunately been watching all these films with me recently. Now, Janelle is a massive fan of Star Wars, so I think she felt honor bound to do this, and her tortured, captive cries throughout this film. I'm going to blame for me not being able to properly recall the plot, because it was over the volume of the film a lot of the time, but did get a very good one good thing, a very good one good thing, and a very one good thing. The last 3 seconds of Ewan killing the leggy creature in the arena, so the big old spiky, the blue green beast, his hair is perfectly mussed, his acting face is on, and he's twirling his lightsaber like a pro. And I've got to say, that is my favourite bit of the film. I didn't actually bring it up in my quickfire because I know that she'd actually said it, and I wanted to.
Right.
Wanted to include.
I did notice when he sort of he gets the lightsaber like a dagger, and he's just sort of driving it into the thing's head.
Yeah, exactly. His hair isn't scraped back like a loser anymore, and he looks cool.
Yeah,
he actually looks like somebody who's got fucking power. You Know What I Like podcast said on a hashtag fashion watch note, it gave us Padme's iconic lake dress.
Yes, which I hadn't really thought about before, but in the picture they sent, it's a pretty good dress.
Baby Beer Media said it provided us with meme materials in abundance.
Meme meat.
Oh, some juicy meme meat. Okay, finally, Tom Brown on Facebook said Christopher Lee clearly relishing the chance to play an evil Count again. And I've got to agree, I really enjoyed Christopher Lee, despite all the problems that everyone has with their performances. Christopher Lee is just Christopher Lee.
He always cares. He always knows what the story is with his character, and he always knows what needs to happen. It's just, it rarely... Well, no, not rarely, but just with this, it's just not supported by the person behind the camera.
Oh well. Thanks for that, OG team.
Thanks, OG team. Right, let's talk about the one better thing. The one better thing. Solo's great. Go see it. It's really good. But aside from that, in terms of middle parts of an installment that largely deal with a shadowy organization consolidating power, but still manages to have a spirit of adventure, I'm going to recommend The Winter Soldier. Captain America. So it's a story that's told purely through the experience of the main character, who is, having his fish out of water thing, and the world is more complicated than he thought. There's political intrigue, and there's a shadowy figure who, there actually is a twist as to who the shadowy figure is in this one.
Yeah.
And there's Samuel Jackson being used better.
It's not Chris Evans.
It's not Chris Evans. That would have been a big twist if he was the one who was manipulating all of this. No, it's Ant-Man. Anyway, it's just a much better film that balances the idea of a political intrigue with a fun adventure and an exciting action movie so much better. So, it manages to be a sort of fun family superhero movie and a much grittier sort of Bourne-style conspiracy deal as well. So, I think that's how you do this. And the action is just so fucking good. That highway sequence with the fighting is the best thing Marvel's done in terms of action, I think.
Really is a great film. Well, it's interesting that you'd go with The Winter Soldier, because I was trying to think of a movie mostly set in space with some engrossing romances and some great play between the main characters, with a threat that you really care about that also looks great, is funny, and knows how to make the most out of the source material. And I opted for Avengers Infinity War.
Fine.
It has all of the things I just said. It's about the same length as Attack of the Clones.
God.
And it's an exercise in giving the fans exactly what they want out of a massive franchise.
Yeah.
Thanos does demand my silence, so I won't say any more, but there's your best alternative. And it's still in cinemas, I think. So,
fucking
go
hell,
on.
It's going to be a while before that one goes anywhere. Oh, well, that was the one better thing. The one better thing. All right, well, thank you for listening to One Good Thing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Anyone who wants to get in touch can... Oh, fuck me, there's a poem. Quick, spread it before George can own it. He can't own everything.
Sure.
He's got to share it, share the art. But if you do want to get in touch, you can... Or then you can contact us at Twitter, at OGTPod, Facebook, /OGTPod. Send us an email, ogtpod@gmail.com. If you want to get involved with the OG team... suggesting good things for the films, you can do that on Twitter and Facebook now, as long as I remember. If you haven't left us a review, then you could do that. That would really help us. Other than that, keep it films.
Keep it films, guys, and keep it local, if you know what I mean. Hashtag no republic. Okay, I'm Paul Salt.
I'm Paul Goodman.
And remember, the one good thing about Star Wars Episode 2, The Phantom Menace Returns to Attack the Senate, is that one man had a goal, and he had a dream, but he didn't want to get off his sofa. And I think we can all relate to that.